Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to be doing some solar cooking out in our sun oven. Many of you have requested that we do more videos on this, and I think it is really a good idea because if the sun shines in your area for any length of time at all during the day, you also can use solar cooking as one of your redundancy methods for off-grid cooking. And it takes a little bit of getting used to. It is not like we can control temperatures very well. We just have to sort of get used to manipulating the equipment a little bit to focus on giving us the optimum temperature, and then we have to be very, very flexible in our timing, because generally speaking, I have found that solar cooking does take more time because of the uncertainty of several variables. And so we are starting here in the morning, mid-morning, and we are getting supper ready. We are going to have fajitas tonight. And so for those of you that may not know what fajitas are, I'm sure most of you know, but it is a Mexican dish where you take either steak strips or chicken or whatever meat you want, and you pan fry it, or you roast it, or you cook it with some vegetables. I'm going very simple today. I'm just using green bell peppers and red bell peppers and onions. And so it's just going to be a simple fajita. Now I don't have a recipe for this because it is such a forgiving recipe. You can pretty much do it however way you wish. And you can add additional vegetables if you want to. And then once the meat is cooked, you add the vegetables when everything is cooked. And I've got some sauce here that we're going to work on in just a minute. It will be a marinade for the meat. Then you bring everything hot and steamy into on the table, and then people will select what they wish from the meat and the vegetable to wrap up in a flour tortilla, and then season it with salsa or whatever, sour cream, whatever they may want, and then you just eat it like a rolled up sort of a burrito thing. The economical thing about burritos is that it makes your meat go a long way because you add in all of those extra vegetables. So here's what we're going to do. Unlike when I bake out in the solar oven, I really don't care what the temperature is up to when I start the cook. This is the pan that we're going to be using. This is one that came with the sun oven. It is the material that those old-timey water bath canners are made from. It is just enameled, speckled, and very thin and very dark, black in fact. And so that is going to help us reach temperature and cook. And it may take us a couple of hours to get the meat up to temperature, and then we'll put in the vegetables, and it may take another hour or two. I really don't care. So when we do solar prep for a meal, we really need to do it on a day that we're going to be home and available, because every 20 to 30 minutes we need to go out and readjust the solar oven so that it is aligned as well as possible with the sun's rays. Now, we're having a cloudy day today. Actually, it's not too cloudy yet. We're in our monsoon week. So far, we've missed all the monsoon. But we're hoping maybe later this afternoon we will have some rain, but I don't know. It's very iffy. But that means we're going to have some clouds come in. And so that means it's going to take much longer. So when you do solar cooking, you can't always, if you plan your meal for a certain day, you always want to check the weather to be sure that you're going to have some sun on that day. And then you just need to adjust with whatever the sky is doing so that you can not worry about if it's taking longer than you think. So I have some steak strips, and we still have Jack with us. Jack is Jim's grandson, and he is getting prepared to leave us. He wants to be independent, live on his own. So he's working toward exiting in a couple of weeks here and going to a completely different state where he can live on his own. And we're really proud of him for wanting to do that. But he's still with us, and so this will do 3 of us, and probably for 2 meals. We'll see how it goes. Now, in this little bowl, I have the start of a meat marinade. I have the juice and the zest from 1 lime and 1 orange to give it kind of a citrusy and an acidic marinade. Now to that, and I'm just faking it here, I'm not measuring anything, I'm just gonna pour into where I think it looks about right. A little bit of oil. This is avocado oil that I'm doing. And I want some cumin. So I'm just going to sprinkle some cumin in until, you know, it looks right. That looks pretty good. And then some chili pepper, same thing. And it wouldn't be fajitas without garlic. So I'm going to put probably a couple of cloves. Then I'm just going to stir this all together. And I'm going to drop the meat in, kind of separating it. Now you can marinate your meat overnight or several hours. We're going to do it for about 30 minutes. We're just going to let it sit here in this about 30 minutes. And then while we let the meat marinate, I'm going to be slicing up these veggies, and when we come back, we'll be ready to take the meat outside in our pan and get it started. So I'll see you in just a bit. All right, we are back. It has been 30 minutes. This meat is looking and smelling so good. And I've got all of our veggies chopped. Now, when I chop veggies for fajitas, I don't chop the peppers the long way to where there's long strings of food. I like things to be a little bit short. It's better to manage for us in when you wrap it in a tortilla. The meat is longer, but these little strips of meat are a little bit longer, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is set the veggies aside. We won't be using those for at least an hour and maybe more. And I'm just going to put the meat right here in the bottom of this pan. And I'm not putting any oil or anything in here because the marinade will still be all over the meat, so it's going to be plenty juicy on the bottom of the pan. Plus, once it starts to cook, it's going to start rendering the fat and juices from the meat as well. And this is what it looks like on the bottom. So let's put the lid on. Whoops, I've got a little spill here. And I'll meet you out at the sun oven. We are, and I have our meat over here on this side. I need to go ahead and open it. We are right now at just over 300 degrees. So that is good, very good. And we're going in on this sling that is supposed to adjust according to the angle. So there we go. And I'm going to just lock this down. And there we have it. So we're going to leave it now, and I will check it every little while, come out about every half hour, and the sun is moving this way across our sky, or rather, the earth is turning. The sun doesn't ever move, but it appears to be moving across. That was a little astronomy lesson. Across the sky in this direction, so I'll be moving the sun oven this way as the morning goes forward. So we'll see how this goes. Right now, we don't really have any interference with direct angle to the sun from clouds, so we're doing good. So see you soon. All right, so I just opened the door and sampled the meat. It is done and tastes fantastic. I love that citrusy tang with the acid from the citrus. So I'm going to just remove the lid now, and we're ready to add the veggies. And you can get a good close-up of the meat. It's created its own juices there.
Oh, that looks nice. Hopefully it would create its own juices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Back off.
so here are the veggies. I'm just going to have to do this with my bare hand. Get this aimed exactly right and just get everything in. Hope I didn't lose too many of them.
I don't think so. Maybe a couple dozen. Like 2, 3, 4, something like that.
And I have just a little bit of the marinade left. I'm just going to pour it right over those veggies. Going to get the lid back on. Close the glass. All right, we are down to 200 degrees now. I'm not going to fasten it down tight because if steam is generated, I want that steam to escape. So we're probably, I'm guessing, about an hour out before everything is all done. So we'll keep watching this, and once the veggies are a little more done and have shrunken down a little bit, and I'll come and stir everything together. So we'll see you back out here soon. I just brought this in. It has taken a total of about 3 hours, and I'm going to open it up and show it to you. So this is what it looks like, and there's a lot of juice in the bottom. When these are done in a restaurant, they usually stir fry the veggies, but there are lots of ways that you can do things, as we all know, and this will work just fine for our purposes, and this will give us a wonderful meal. Now, the problem is it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And dinner is still a few hours away. So what do? You know, if our solar dish finishes early, we don't want to leave it out there in the heat. And so I did bring this in. It's still just piping hot. And I put it in the microwave without any heat in the microwave. The microwave is a small box, and so it will keep things warm just by not adding any heat at all. So it was in there for about 10 minutes while I got some other things ready. I've just heated my tortilla by putting it in the microwave with a damp towel so that it can have some moisture. So the way that you work this is that I'm just going to grab some meat and then some of the peppers and onions. And we're just probably going to use this as an early lunch. So I just want a spoonful of the, and you don't have to put anything else on, but I do really like salsa. And some sour cream. Not much here left. I've got a new one I can open up. That's why I'm not worrying about the spoon. This will go in the trash in just a second. And then I can roll it, or I can just fold it in half, whatever works for me, which is about like this. And I am going to add a couple of slices of avocado to my plate. And here is my lunch. So if I were to take a little bite of this, and I'm going to use a knife because I'm standing up and would drip on my blouse otherwise, and I'm just going to cut a bite about right here. And now I'm going to pick it up and just bite it with my teeth. Oh my goodness. That marinade is phenomenal. It has completely permeated the meat. The meat is so tender. The vegetables are still crunchy, which I like a lot. And of course, then with the salsa and the sour cream, it just makes it wonderful. So this is a great meal to do on using the sun's energy, so we don't have to heat up our kitchen at all, which makes it very nice. So I'm going to invite the men in here for just a few minutes, let them fix up things however they would like to. And I hope that this has given you some information about you can consider using solar heat as one of your redundancy systems for preparing meals if the grid should go down long term and we are forced into using things that we've been preparing for. So let's keep on preparing, and we'll be back soon with more videos.